Hello, peoples. Nice to see you on Thursday, September 15, 2022. This is the Ken Matthews Report, exclusively on subscribestar.com, Ken Matthews Media, but occasionally on Rumble or YouTube if we can sneak it by the Nazi censors. And the reason I put it out from time to time on Rumble is just to let people know where I am. That's it. If you want the content every day and the reports every day, that goes to my awesome subscribers. Thank you. You made my week last week. Actually, you paid my week last week. Thank you. Subscribestar.com. So I throw it around. I put out some random reports every now and then because I'm still getting emails, and they're so nice. Where did you go? What happened? I used to listen to you here, or I used to listen to you here, or I was listening to you in Colorado Springs, or I used to listen to you in central Pennsylvania, or in Tennessee, or wherever. So that's why I do that. Because if you notice, if you drive around, there's not a lot of billboards that say, go to subscribestar.com to get Ken Matthews reports every day. Okay. Had to do the plug. Actually, someone suggested that to me, and I thought, I'll try it out. They said, mention your subscriptions at the front and at the end of your reports. So thank you. I'm going to take that advice. It was someone that's actually has a lot of subscriptions. So I'm trying it out. It's all new, ladies and gentlemen. It's all new. Swimming in the ocean now with the sharks and loving it. So welcome to the report. So much going on today. Tomorrow is the planned railroad strike. Now, it's starting to come out this morning. Today's Thursday. It's starting to come out this morning that the Biden regime has struck a deal that may end the strike. So once again, we're going to position Biden as a hero. They've known about this since July. I told you about this in July. Back in July, the railroad workers union said, you better have your act together by September 15th, or we're going to strike on that day. That's back in July. This is typical leftist progressive poopy. Typical. So people are driving along, listening to NPR, because it's very intellectual to listen to NPR, because they play classical music in the background, even though they're a propagandist outlet. And they're driving around and they're hearing, oh my gosh, what a rough week Biden's having. Gosh. Like he doesn't have enough on his plate, Russia attacking Ukraine and the supply chain interruption and the climate crisis. I don't know how Joe does it. No, Joe caused it. That's how he does it. They cause it. They don't tell you about it. And then they get, so Joe and team idiot, the team idiot, all his communist advisors, they knew about this strike for over 2 months. Just like they knew about the damage that mandating truckers would do with the vaccine, okay? And then they come in at the last minute and say, oh, thank goodness. So there's people driving around thinking this strike thing just popped out of nowhere. It didn't pop out of nowhere. It's been on the plate. All these things that are happening now have been on the plate of this buffoon. And Obama, let's stay with the plate metaphor analogy, whatever it is, because I'm going somewhere with this. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going. So this has all been on their plate. But the thing is, Obama and other socialist / communist / pathological liars, like now we've got Podesta back in the mix. Pizza party! So Obama and Podesta and Hillary and all the people that are part of the Biden administration, Susan Rice, excuse me, I almost said Donna. Susan Rice, Valerie Jarrett, all these people, they arrange the food on the plate. See what I did there? I kept it food. I was hungry this morning. I had like extra oatmeal because I'm getting up in years. So I have an oatmeal. So they're setting the agenda. So the public thinks, poor Joe. nothing's working out. He's got the fuel shortage, which he caused. He's got the whole Russian thing, which he is helping. They want the war. They want a war. They're begging for a war. And now this strike. And then today I see the headlines on NBC in particular, because they don't love Biden and hate Trump as much as CBS does, but they're up there. And I have to hand it to NBC. They've managed to put all their lunatics on MSNBC. I guess that's the lunatic team. You got NBC News, which is what? They would be the, I don't know, would you call them the major leagues? And then you got the minor league, the AA team, which is MSNBC. And that's where you put like Joyless Reed and all these other morons. White people are terrorists. That's over on NBC. MSNBC, rather. Okay. So they said last minute agreement may be at hand. Can Joe Biden do it? Can Joe Biden save the world and save the strike? I don't know. It depends what Obama wants to do. If Obama thinks and his handlers think a strike will help the Democrat election, then there's going to be a strike. It's that simple. Just like you shutting down oil drilling and all this other stuff and sanctioning Russia. This was all designed to attack the core structure: food, fuel, freedom of speech, of course, that's been ongoing for decades, and firearms. So the FBI will continue to target people that really don't need to be targeted, and other people will get away, right? There will be food shortages because Biden warned us, and he warned us probably on the advice of his advisors and counselors that you should warn them. That way, when things go really sideways, you can say, well, back in the spring of 2022, I mentioned there'd be food shortages, and we've been working on it because the Biden administration cares so much about you that they're stripping you of every freedom you thought you had. So good luck. Good luck if there is a rail strike tomorrow, because Biden controlled the ports. They shut down the ports with COVID garbage. Remember? What is it? Remember how it works. SEA, right? Barges, ships to trucks to rails, or barge to rail to truck to you. So what have they been pounding on from the very beginning of this farcical scamdemic? We got to shut down the ports. We can't let truckers cross certain borders. Remember Canada? You can't come in here. You haven't been vaccinated. Shut down supply chain. So now we've let idiots take control of all of it. Trucking, shipping, airline, barge, ships, and rail. So, again, I don't want to hear the whining from people that voted for Biden because we told you this would happen. I can't stand any more whining, and don't be so ignorant and blame Trump for this. Please stop blaming Trump. You sound like a complete moron. Well, this wouldn't even be happening if Trump knew what he was doing. Trump is not president, according to you. We wouldn't even have all this death and illness if Ken Matthews just wore his mask. No, that isn't how it works. People are awake, and that's why everybody's in a panic. Okay, so that's the rail strike. Will it happen tomorrow? I don't know. I'm leaning toward it will. And here's my prediction, and I could be wrong. Because, again, I'm not an expert. I'm no Joy Behar or Jimmy Kimmel or Gayle King. I'm not an expert, all right? I just do a lot of reading and research. I think there will be a strike. I think it'll be short-lived, and then we'll have a big parade for Joe Biden because he saved us. God, the railroad people. Thomas the Tank Engine almost went off the rails, but thank God that doddering, drooling old communist puppet saved us. So I think maybe a rail strike for 5 days, and then, And then we'll have, on Meet the Press. So how are you able to avoid the rail strike? All right. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, in my messed up state, Pennsylvania, which has become a political joke to, I don't know if it's a political joke to the world, but it certainly is around the country. Holy moly. Put it this way, it's no Florida, I'll tell you that. John Fetterman, he is the giant. He is a giant of a man, or excuse me, I'm sorry, John Fetterwoman, who's running for Senate. Did someone just throw an ad up on my screen? What did I say about that, people? What did I say? You don't throw an ad up on my screen unless you pay me. All right. Sorry. I don't know why I'm so jacked up today. Maybe I'm just in a good mood. But I am glad you're paying attention, and I can't. Here it is right there. That is one of my favorite cups. All right. John Fetterman, or Fetterwoman, has agreed to a debate with the Wizard of Oz. Dr. Oz, he's running for Senate. No, I don't support Dr. Oz. No, I don't support John Fetterman. I'm very disappointed. I can't tell you how disappointed I am. I'm sure someone in Donald Trump's circle of advisors, and they're all smarter than you and me. You know that. Said, you got to go with Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz, he's got name recognition. He's an outsider. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Not a fan. But they're going to debate. I just want to show you how messed up and how the game is played. And you know this, but in Pennsylvania, that October 25th, they're going to have a debate. The last week of October, the two guys running for Senate are going to have a debate. The election is November 8th. Now, there are several things wrong with that picture. That's the only debate Fetterman will have. Now, I told you about this. He's not quick on his feet, unfortunately. He kind of rolls like he's, 14, 15-year-old, angry guy at the gym. All right. So they're going to have a debate on the 25th. But almost 3 weeks before that, voting starts in Pennsylvania. So the Senate candidates, early voting starts. See, in Pennsylvania, it's voting month. It's not voting day. And that's a great way to scam it. The more you expand the window to vote, the more you can manipulate the vote. The more you mail votes, the more you can manipulate the vote. The more you take your vote and my vote and run it through a machine that can be hacked in less than 2 minutes, and someone can have access from another country to that machine. But let's not even get that crazy. Let's just say someone can be sitting out in a van hacking into the machine and changing the ratio of votes. Once you do all that, who knows who's going to win the election? But the point I was driving home last week, and we talked about this in depth last week about the elections. We are November 8th, so we're less than, 7 weeks away now? Less than 7 weeks away? Probably one of the biggest midterm elections. And not one Democrat state, not one Democrat precinct or run precinct has done anything to change what went on in 2020. Just letting you know that. So this is why I'm so disappointed in the Republicans. Well, I've been disappointed in the Republicans since about 2005, but this is why. This is why you hear people like me and others saying, I don't even know if there's going to be election. I don't know if it's going to be secure. Nothing's changed. People in Pennsylvania went to them and said, hey, this computer, this voting system is flawed. We're not going to change it. It worked for us in 2020. This mail-in system is flawed. This early voting system is flawed. It's ripe for corruption and stolen elections. We're not changing it. So think about that, whatever city or precinct or state you're in. So John Fetterman is going to come out of his, wherever he lives, I would say a cave, but I don't know if there's a cave that big because he's a tall guy. So John Fetterwoman's coming out, and he's going to debate the Wizard of Oz roughly 10 days before what will probably be a rigged election. So welcome to Pennsylvania. What's our new slogan again? Where all your dreams come true. What was it? It used to be the Keystone. I forgot. How embarrassing. You would think I would keep up with this. What's our slogan? Where dreams come true, where the governor is a communist. Okay. I don't think they're going to put that on a license plate. Let's head over to another ridiculously run state. Illinois will be eliminating bail requirements for murder next year. In 2023, bail will no longer be required for murderers. I don't know what else to say. The leadership in Illinois, especially in large cities like Chicago, they went from dumb to dumber to stupid to stupider to ignorant to insane to socialist to communist to lunatic. And I'm running out of things to put on that chart. All right. I have a very exciting presentation for you in this first segment. It may take up the rest of the segment. I'm not sure. Actually, let me put a timer on. I got a new timer. Oh, am I excited about this? Okay, stand by. Here we go. It's working. I want to go over to, I don't know if you know, but Jill Biden, Jill, is the first liar. The first lady. First lady. I don't know why I called her a liar. Well, because she's a liar. But the first lady of the United States, Jill Biden, you may remember this was all over the news yesterday because I think this broke the day before yesterday, and I just didn't have time to get to it in the pile of preparation. Besides, I wanted to prepare a presentation for you. She had this to say.
Parents and politicians are now weighing in on what books should be in our school libraries and what their kids are being taught. Mm-hmm. Where's the line, in your opinion, with how much of a say parents should have when it comes to what their kids are learning in school?
Okay, first of all, it's a pretty good question, and in typical leftist fashion, she dodges it. She doesn't tell you where the line is. Do you notice that? Because there is a line. There is a line. So there's a couple things going on here. Let's finish the soundbite, and then let's break it down, which you probably already have. If you're subscribed to this channel, you probably already know the crap that's going on here. But anyway.
Well, I think with the pandemic, parents saw how hard teachers work. And
oh, my God. It's all about me. Jill Biden. I'm sorry, Dr. Jill Biden.
How difficult this job really is. Mm-hmm. And I think if they work together in their school districts and decide what they want with their curriculum.
So, but where's the line? And here you're saying decide what they want with their curriculum. Okay. All right.
Is there a balance between, this book should be in the library, this book
all
is under
books
review?
Should be in the library. All books. This is America. We don't ban books.
Well, actually, we don't, but you do. That's why I called her a liar, because she's a propagandist just like her husband, except she can actually get through a sentence. In America, books are banned. Books are targeted. Authors are banned, maligned, slandered, deplatformed, whatever. So I want you to listen to it again. And she never answers the question.
Parents and politicians are now weighing in on what books should be in our school libraries and what their kids are being taught. Where's the line, in your opinion, with how much of a say parents should have when it comes to what their kids are learning in school?
Well,
okay, so this is what my answer would be. And I'm just a voter like you. I'm just common sense citizen and a parent, okay? And thank goodness my kids are 18 and 21 now, because I don't know how I would deal with some of these dirt bags trying to groom my 9-year-old. I would probably be in jail. So what I would have said, when she said, where is the line? I would have said, well, obviously some books are too mature or too old for some students. So obviously the library is going to look a little different for a 4th grader, an 8th grader, and a 12th grader. However, the library itself should have all books. But in the academic environment, I think there are books that a 3rd grader should not be reading because of the adult content, the sexual content, and other issues that may be beyond the scope of what we're teaching. But all books should be in the library. So if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you should be able to read any book that's out there in your library. Now, the other question would be, and this was what was so artfully dodged by the first liar of the United States. I don't mean it. No, I do. Dr. Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, she dodged this question. There's a difference between a public library and a school library. Is that a fair assessment? Don't you think there's a difference? I mean, there are sections in libraries that are designed for children and not. Now, the problem is the Democrats play this game all the time. We're all about free speech. Every book should be in the library. Kids should have access to everything. And you know the game they're playing. Propagandists always play this game. Free speech for them. Any book, if it's theirs. So this was a complicated question, but the quote that's going to get circulated is, Dr. Jill Biden, she's on our team, man. She's all for free speech. I know, because she used to be a teacher.
I think with the pandemic, parents saw how hard teachers work and how difficult this job really is. And I think if they work together in their school districts and decide what they want with their curriculum.
Is there a balance between, this book should be in the library, this book
All
is under
books
review?
should be in the library. All books. This is America. We don't ban books.
See, I agree. But again, you got to go into the minutia of this. All books should be on the internet, but they're not. They're they're banned. All books and book reviews and movies should be on social media platforms, but they're banned and they're deplatformed. So this is a little game. All books should be in the library. What kind of idiot wants a 10-year-old reading a book that is for an adult? Think about it. Well, the left. So this is the game, and that comment will allow Jill to keep all her, not all her, but the Democrats, all their leftist grooming crap and all their anti-American garbage and all the LGBTQ stuff and America's bad and all the, hey, if you're a white boy, you're a racist, all that garbage will be pumped into people that can't even discern what it is, but will start to lock it in. As a conservative, I value free speech, but I hate indoctrination and propaganda. So at the high school level, the reading and the dialogue should be completely different. But as well as I do that the indoctrination of young people in our schools, 5, 6, 7 years old, starts early. And some of the garbage they're bringing home. That there were coloring books in 2016 that I talked about on other shows that said right there, why is President Trump such a bad man? And the kids are coloring this in. So yeah, all books in the library, if you're old enough to discern or at least have a adult discussion about the books. So anyway, let me jump over to, let me see how I can do this. Hold on one second here. All right, I'm going to try this. If something blows up on your end, I hope you're not hurt. But here we go. And boom. All right. So my question would be to Dr. Jill Biden and you. I'm going to do this kind of slow or slowly. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it like that. All right. So what about this book? Should this book be in the school library? I think. So, but what I want you to do is go to your classroom or go to your library, go to your teacher, parents, go to your kids. I'm just going to go full on this. Stand by. Stand by as we go full on this. Okay. Because then I can figure out where I'm showing it. All right. So, American Pravda by James O'Keefe. All books should be in the library, right? Is that in your library? And you know what? Let's kick it up a notch. Let's go to college libraries, because the colleges do more censoring of free speech and have done more to harm free speech than the news media has. All right, what about this one? Alex Berenson, one of the smartest, most savvy researchers, and I've been following this guy for years. And then he started to bubble up on some high-profile shows, because at the very beginning of the scamdemic, I was very outspoken about the scamdemic. And like I mentioned before, I got heat. I didn't get censored, but I got heat for it. And people were saying stupid things to me like, you shouldn't be trashing the vaccine. I said, and I remember saying this to a producer in a city I will not mention. I said, the vaccine and the COVID scamdemic will be the biggest story of at least the decade, if not more, because of all the people that will die and will be injured by this and how half-ass it was brought to market. And Pandemia is, you got to read this book, How Coronavirus Hysteria Took Over Our Government, Rights, and Lives, Alex Berenson. Is that in your kid's library? College? High school? Why not? This is one of the most brilliant writers on earth, Thomas Sowell. This guy is, his brain is incredible. I have read Thomas Sowell since he started writing books. Conflict of Visions, Ideological Origins of Political Struggles. Is that in your kid's library? You should check. Spies and Traitors Exposed. The definitive expose of Soviet espionage in America. The Venona Secrets. Now, I'm going to warn liberals. It's a big one. So I know you're going to hit the internet and Snopes it and fact check it, and you're going to say, well, can't I just get like a 2-page thing on my phone? Do I have to actually read things? Is that in your library? Again, ask your kids. If you're a student, of course, I know this is 18 or older. So if you're a college student watching this report, go to your library. See if you can get this book by Michael Pillsbury. The 100-Year Marathon, China's Secret Strategy to Replace America as the Global Superpower. Come on, man. They're good people over there. They're not a threat. Come on, man. Is this in your library, Jill? Is this in Jill Biden's library? Colin Flattery died last year, by the way. Or was it this year? I forget. Don't make the black kids angry. The hoax of black victimization and how we enable it. Is that in the library? Why isn't it? Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States of America, said all books should be in the library. And I'm not even pushing these books for the 8th grader. I'm saying, can you even find these books in a library for adults? I say good luck. You may not be able to. Confessions of a Greenpeace Dropout, the making of a sensible environmentalist. This is Patrick Moore. He used to be hardcore Greenpeace. Let's go attack the boats. Let's get in a skiff and head out to the ship and spray paint stuff on the boat and, go after people that are going after whales and save the whale and save the green and save the peace. And he had this awakening and he realized, just like BLM, the Greenpeace movement has been taken over by radicals, just like BLM was. Nobody says Black lives don't matter. What we say is the people that run Black Lives Matter, the people that run Greenpeace, and the people that run Save the World and get a poster of Al Gore, they're all millionaires and billionaires. It doesn't have anything to do with saving the planet. It's getting them rich and locked in for the future and controlling you. Here's another one. This is the 5th edition. A second look at the Federal Reserve, the creature from Jekyll Island. You got to read it, and I would suggest you take notes. As you can see, I take a lot of notes because I read, because my parents sent me to a school where it was reading, writing, arithmetic. So I learned how to read. As much as I want to listen to NPR because they have beautiful classical music in the background whenever they do stories, have you noticed that? And I love classical music and I love jazz. As much as I want to listen to NPR and someone talking like this, in other developments, I just read. So is this in the library? Joe Biden says every book should be in the library in America. We don't burn books in America. The hell you don't. The hell you don't. The left, the government, you digitally destroy anything that goes against your current narrative. Whether it's a book on 9/11, whether it's a book on Joe Biden, whether it were the books that came out on Obama and exposed what a scumbag he was before he was all prettied up to run for president. You digitally burn books every day. You take out journalists, figuratively speaking, every day. You purge journalists. You target journalists. Every day this is happening in this country. And I got to listen to the First Lady of the United States go on NBC, the national BS, whatever, and say, we don't burn books in America. You've been editing and censoring Americans for decades. And that's why college professors, some of which are some of the dumbest people we know. What about this one? This is one of my faves. Oh my gosh. This is by Anthony Frank, The CIA's Quest to Control the Government, Destroying America. You think is that in your college library, your kids' oh, there's more. I'm just getting started. I'm not going to go through my whole library. Notice I haven't taken a book off there yet. I haven't even got, but I'm just saying, when the First Lady of the United States, who, Saint Jill Biden, oh my God, she's so great. 42 people showed up to the rally because of Jill. The Deep Rig by Patrick Byrne. How election fraud cost Donald J. Trump the White House by a man who did not even vote for him. What a great read. Is that in the library? Jill, one of the best books I have ever read concerning politics, the international landscape of where we are now as a country, internationally, domestically. Yeah, that Alex Jones. Do you think that's going to be in your library? Is that going to be in it, Jill? The Great Reset and the War for the World. And again, I encourage you to take notes, and I would encourage journalists to take notes. Because journalists, I know for a fact, because I've talked to a couple in the last couple of weeks, they just dismiss this. I said to one journalist who I have now lost total respect for, I'm not going to mention the name, I said, I just read The Great Reset. The Klaus Schwab one? No, I read that when he put it out. I read The Great Reset by Alex Jones, and it is brilliant. So if you have any doubt about Jones's brain, and I never had, this book should be a textbook in college level, maybe even high school level classes. There, I said it. Now you can say whatever you want, but do me a favor. If you're on the left, tape your mouth over till you read the book. Okay. Enough with the comments. Enough with well, he's a conspiracy. So anyway, I didn't pitch it. I mentioned this. And the journalist first, oh, not that Alex Jones. I'm not reading that crap. Well, that's why you're a bad journalist. Because you pick and choose your evidence. You pick and choose your facts. This is what the left has been doing and journalism has been doing for 50 years. And in the last 10 years, it's been despicable. You've just come out and said, well, I hate Trump. I'm not doing that. I'm not showing that. I don't like Biden, but I'm certainly going to cover up for Biden and cover up for Hillary because they're a lot better than people like you, Ken, conservatives. Here's one. This is a blast from the past. The Franklin scandal. The story of power brokers, child abuse, and betrayal by Nick Bryan. These are all 18 plus books. These are all big boy and girl books. So you probably never even heard about the Franklin scandal. Oh, it led right back to the White House. The White House? Oh, yeah. It involved governors. Oh, it involved Republicans. Oh, yeah. You mean Republicans were involved with pedophilia? What are you trying to say, Ken? I just said it. Pedophilia is rampant through government. Doesn't matter what your political persuasion is. And that's why no one does anything about it. That's the one thing that Democrats and Republicans do. That's the one bipartisan thing. That's the one thing those handshakes mean something. Hey, can we work together on this? Yeah, you cover my ass and I'll cover yours. That's the one thing the parties do better than anything. They can't protect you. They can't protect me. They can't protect our border. They can't protect our trade. They can't keep Chinese spies out of Twitter. That story's coming up in the next segment. But one thing they can do, a Democrat from this state will certainly cover a Republican from another state if they're involved in a crime. Don't forget, by the way, this isn't a threat. It's just a finger. Diana West. Oh my gosh, is she good? Holy moly. The Secret Assault on Our Nation's Character, American Betrayal. So good, so delicious that I had to use 4 different color highlighters. That's how delicious this book was. And last but not least, who knew that this segment, half this segment would be a library segment? I'm showing you these books because they're all great reads. They're all, what do I call, narrative crushers. They're brilliantly researched, and they're all by people that I respect as a source. And the only thing the reason I'm pumping this so hard today is because Jill Biden, the day before yesterday, was doing her tour. Oh my God, Jill Biden, she's such an intellectual. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dr. Jill Biden, it's great. And what she said about all books in the library, America doesn't burn books, I agree. Yeah. Is this book in your library? The one by Jess Walter? The Truth and Tragedy of the Randy Weaver Family, Ruby Ridge. Don't even get me started on 9/11 in Waco. Or Oklahoma City. Don't even get me started. Don't have time for those books. I got about 15 of them. Okay, segment 2 is coming up. Wow, that went quickly. And some really cool sound bites. There's something going on at the New York Times that you must know about. And also in the next segment, the Iowa teen who killed her rapist has now been ordered to pay $150,000 to the rapist family. Don't tell me America isn't great. Holy moly. You can roll in and be a total scumbag and your family's taken care of. How did that happen? So that's coming up. Now, if you're a hardcore leftist, you've probably been triggered so severely by those book titles. Go take a nap, and but don't cancel your subscription. All right, we'll be right back with segment 2.